Are you struggling to let go of and remove things that no longer serve you? Are you trying to make more positive, healthier choices in your life? Are you trying to take care of yourself? But it all just seems like a full-time job. Well, that's because it sort of is, and that's what I want to talk about and help you with in this video today. Hello, my beautiful people. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Grady, and I'm the counselor and transformational coach at Butterfly Project. So today, this is what I wanted to talk about was self-care as a part of self-love, but also as we are approaching the Chinese New Year, which is actually technically the New Year, and that's how I look at it now. It's like the New Year really doesn't start until around springtime. I like, if you've watched that video, I'll post it up here, but January should be a time of, rest, recovery, resetting, recuperation, and also kind of contemplating the year ahead. And then February should be the time that we start making plans, start implementing them. And by March, we should be well on our way, implementing things towards our goals. And so what I have found, is that, with the Chinese New Year, especially this year in particular, this is a pretty important date. Now, you might not be into astrology, and that's okay. This video is still for you. But with the Chinese New Year, it kind of marks the end of the snake year last year. Okay, and the snake was all about shedding the old. It was releasing, removing anything that no longer serves you, that doesn't align with you. And if you've watched my videos, I talked about this year's theme being the theme of authenticity. Authenticity meaning being the real you. So what does that mean for you? What is your authentic self, right? What do we need to remove from our life to be this authentic, real version of ourselves, right? And I look at it as being the best self, because the version maybe of yourself that you don't like is just the version of you that is piled on with conditions from childhood, society, your beliefs, those sorts of things. So to take care of ourselves, going back to the year of the snake. So that was year of the snake. That's coming to an end around the Chinese New Year in astrology. And then we are going into, if you've probably heard all over the place, the year of the horse or the fire horse. This is all about passion, action, creating, right? Moving forward, fast forward, passionate movement forward into our lives. So things are going to speed up a lot faster than they already feel and already are. So this is a time where the year of the fire horse, even though things are speeding up, we also want to make sure we've shed all those parts of us we don't want anymore. Now, this could be people, places, things, habits, addictions, mindsets, right? Patterns, things like that. So we want to release and let go of all of that. And we want to get into a place of, starting to implement the healthy, positive things in our life. And now you should have started kind of, doing that towards the end of, January. So this month, I challenge you to start implementing these things in your life if you've already done the releasing. But remember, we still have a couple weeks left to do that. So you probably are still in the process of releasing a lot of things, but start implementing things. And I've done this in my own life, which is why I probably look like I need a shower. It's because I do. I just came back from the gym, and before I take my makeup off and everything, I just figured I'd do this video because this was really important. One of the things that I am finding as I'm now 4 weeks, I guess, into the changes that I have been making. One of them being a regular, regular habit of going to the gym. So I'm going 6 days a week, and I've made it a habit, you guys. 3 weeks really is a habit, but I always say 6 weeks is actually a lifestyle. So I'm well on the way to that. And, with that, actually also I'm incorporating a lot of healthy eating, But it also means having to change my sleep pattern, which was one of the things, one of my bad habits was staying up very late because I'm a night owl. And so I was really struggling with that. So by working out, having to get up, go to the earlier class, it is forcing me to get up earlier, to go to bed earlier. I also want to be, getting up much earlier even than that. Around 7 a.m. So I have about an hour before my kids get up. And this way I can do all the things that I teach all of you guys. Because I was doing it, but it was sporadic. And I have a very, a flexible schedule. And so I was doing these things kind of throughout. But I'm finding now that to be able to incorporate taking care of myself, loving myself, loving my body, right? Taking care of my body, nurturing myself in all ways, because you guys, it's all about mind, body, and spirit. It's not just one thing. So by taking care of all of these things, I found that the only way to do it is to really have a schedule and a routine. And I've never been one for routines, you guys. I have been a free spirit, and what do they say? Fly by the seat of my pants, right? That's how I did things, and it worked. But if you're struggling with any kind of mental health issues or PTSD, trauma, things like that, which I have in the past, with trauma and PTSD, schedule, consistency, being grounded is very important. And that brings me to my point about the fire horse year, which is that things are going to happen very quickly. So this is going to be the time that you really want to learn how to ground yourself, get yourself really solid, stable, and secure within yourself, which is what I teach you guys, my clients. If I'm teaching you, to meditate, to do breath work. These things are important. Grounding activities, eating, more fruits and vegetables, right? Things that are, natural part, that come out of the ground. Spending time in nature, right? Being barefoot outside, those kinds of things is very important. But because things are going to go fast, you need to be able to be really grounded within yourself. And, this is really important, to be able to do it. Routine is really helpful. Okay. And so once you create a habit, right, then it becomes a lifestyle, like I said. And that's what I've been doing. And so, it pretty much is, it feels like a full-time job, right? Because I'm incorporating everything, dealing with, my mind. So I'm doing a lot of different things to help with, my mindset, and doing things, to help with the physical body, right? Like the food, nutrition, working out, those kinds of things, the sleep, right? And then the spirit, right? So meditation, breath work, those kinds of things, anything, if you have any religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs, this includes spirituality, right? Whatever it is for you. We want to spend time doing that and nurturing all parts of us, right? So when I work with clients, I always tell people it's a holistic approach. That's what I focus on. It's not just all psychology, right? It's all these pieces to the puzzle that come together so that you can build a really healthy and thriving life. And so, yeah, one of the things, as well, working with the mind, right? You guys, I actually love Oracle decks. You don't have to be into them, but when that's part of my kind of daily practice for, my mind, for my emotions, and it's part of, my spirit and spiritual side. And so as I work with these, and I absolutely love art, you guys, like really love art. And so I like all like the different, pictures and colors, and like every deck has like its own personality, and there's different messages from the people that create it. I really appreciate people who are, very creative, right? And so it was so interesting. I'm going to have to use my glasses for this, but it was so interesting that the cards that I pulled today is very much in line with this message. And so, you guys, this is probably one of my favorite cards of all the decks I have. Card number 17, it says focus on self-care, and it's a panda, and it is the cutest picture. I just love it. The panda bear, so cute. The colors, those kinds of aqua blues are very much my colors. And then this other deck, also self-care came out, and it was this card, and this is so beautiful as well, and like the animals. And you guys, I really, in this card, I'm seeing so much of like self-love. And here's the thing, that when we're loving ourselves, the biggest point, I guess, to my message today is when you love yourself. And this goes along with the video that I previously did, which I'll post up here, about, what are you investing your time and energy into? When you really love yourself, you are going to invest your time and energy into positive things that are actually going to benefit you and going to bring a good, return on your investment of your time. And yeah, we can do different things and waste time a little bit here and there. And I like to veg too, I like to watch, my shows and things like that. But it's after I've invested my time, right? I'm doing all these things like the skincare, routines and taking care of my hair and my nails. Like all these things take so much work, and that's why it feels like a full-time job, because we weren't meant to work to be able to live. We were meant to, or we weren't meant to live to work. Okay, we were meant to work to be able to live, right? And so I think unfortunately society has, switched it around, and I'm a very hard worker. So I really had to kind of, let go of a lot of these beliefs and ways of doing things. But when we're taking care of ourselves, when we're nurturing ourselves, we are essentially loving ourselves, okay? Because nobody's going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, right? And as we do this, you'll start to realize, I do love myself and I am worthy and I am good enough of investing. So I always tell my clients, self-love, if I could say it in one sentence, it is you choosing the best thing for you. It's you choosing the best thing for you in each and every moment. So when you go and eat something, when you decide, oh, I want to sleep in, when really you should be getting up. I mean, unless, your body really needs it, right? Because you haven't gotten sleep, or staying up way too late and not going to bed, early enough and then lacking in sleep. All these things, it's what choices are you making in each and every moment means if you're loving yourself or not, right? So there's two other cards that came up that is also very much in line with this message. And I kind of wanted to just read from the book on these because it's so beautiful. So the first one was, and this is about, the year of the snake, like releasing the things from the past. Now, this card says boundaries, okay, and armadillos. This is such a beautiful, you guys, the artwork is just so beautiful. So I'm going to read this because I think the message is beautiful, and I would rather just say it the way it is written for you guys. So the armadillo spirit says, this animal card is about staying strong. Hopefully you can see that. Staying strong within your power and maintaining healthy boundaries and energetic hygiene, which is what I was talking about in that video, the last video I did. So keep your awareness on how the outside world is affecting you, how food, drink, music, movies, images, conversation topics, and discussions make you feel, and protect yourself from whatever doesn't resonate with you. Notice where you are being... I'm so sorry, you guys. I'll start over. Okay, so we're going to read the armadillo, the boundaries card. So armadillo spirit animal card is about staying strong within your power and maintaining healthy boundaries and energetic hygiene. That's what I was talking about in that last video I made. Keep your awareness on how the outside world is affecting you, how food, drink, music, movies, images, people, conversation topics, and discussions make you feel, and protect yourself from whatever doesn't resonate with you. Notice when you are being a people pleaser for the sake of keeping the peace on the outside, but at the cost of your internal well-being and sense of self-worth. Claim your sovereignty and assert your needs and personal space when the situation calls for it. So you guys can probably tell why I love our oracle cards so much, because whoever creates them really does put a lot of work, time and effort into it. So that's beautiful. That's kind of like what I was saying, with the, my other video. Now, card number 41, rewrite. Okay, so this is kind of like yin and yang, and this is what I was talking about. So we're going to release the things, right? We're going to put up boundaries and release the things that no longer serve us in order to love ourselves, and we are going to rewrite the story of our lives. This is the past you, right? Now we want to create this version of you, right? And how are we going to do that? So, Secret Bird Totem reminds you to consciously rewrite and edit your personal history. Sometimes we can get stuck in a certain narrative pattern that leaves us feeling hurt or unhappy. If this story gets too loud, we might start looping and repeating it over and over, while the feelings we experienced in the past remain strong and active in our current vibration. When the realization of this repeated pattern arises, it is time to consciously add a new chapter to the old story. Validating the old history and the feelings is important, and seeing the old pattern from a different lens does not negate the unpleasant parts. We are simply being asked to find a different angle for looking at what happened, adding a little bit to the old story and ever so slightly changing the pattern that we weave. We can't undo the unpleasant parts, but we can try weaving them into something that we will honor the beauty of our personal history. All right, my loves. So that is what I have for you. I just wanted to tell you all to really put in the time, effort into, loving yourselves. And, nobody's going to do it for you. Yeah, it feels like a full-time job, but you'll feel accomplished when you do. And what you're doing is you're investing in yourself. You are investing in loving yourself. And that is telling yourself, in action, that you are worthy, that you are good enough. So when I teach you to do affirmations, this is living out your affirmations, right? So we want to release the past. We want to let go of those old stories, the old versions of us, whatever that is, and we want to rewrite a new story. We want to get rid of the things that no longer serve us so that we can live a healthy, vibrant life. Because you guys, I keep saying this, and it's become so apparent in my life that life is just way too short. It is precious. Every single day that you wake up is a gift. It truly is. Nobody knows how much time we have. So you want to make the most of it. Loving yourself, taking care of yourself, and enjoying life. It's not just doing the work of taking care of yourself, right? But part of the mind, body, spirit, dynamic, right? That holistic approach is also doing fun things, right? So maybe you like to dance, maybe you like music, maybe you like art, whatever it is, right? Cooking, whatever it is, spending time with people. I mean, there's a variety of things. When I work with you guys, you'll know as clients, right? I kind of look at all of these parts. It's all parts, all pieces to the puzzle of your life. And so it's very important that we focus on these things. All right, my loves. So that is what I have for you today. If you would like to work with me, my information is in the description box below. This is the time of year that things get super busy for me, and it looks like things are going to continue, to be that way kind of all year long. So if you want to work with me, like I said, my information is down there. And also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos. If you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to be part of this ever-growing butterfly community. So hit or I already said the bell icon, but I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, be part of this ever-growing butterfly community, like I said. And sorry guys, I'm like super tired from that. I actually did 2 workouts back to back today. It was a little bit much, but I'd missed yesterday. So anyway, like I was saying, doing all of these things really does help me. It does, help my channel to grow, to get my messages out there. And if you know me, one of my biggest passions is to help as many people as I possibly can. That's another thing. Passion is so important in our lives, right? We're meant to experience a life. So what are you passionate about, right? Take a look at that as well and start investing your time into the things and maybe, people or whatever it is that you're passionate about. All right, my loves. So thanks so much for being here with me today. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, I wish you all peace, love, and light. Until next time. Bye-bye.